think about the future of environmental health as falling into three broad categories. The first I'd like to emphasize is the broadening of our conception of what we think of as the environment and what falls within the purview of our research. Until now, I would say the vast majority of the work in environmental health departments at schools of public health has focused on chemical hazards. And while chemicals remain very important as human health stressors, I think we're beginning to learn that the environment needs to be increasingly defined in a broader way, to take into account not just the chemical environment, also the temperature environment, the green space environment, the built environment, even the aesthetic environment, all of which have pathways that lead to health and disease, and I think we need to understand those pathways, and particularly how they interact with one another. A second important thrust, I think, is the sort of revolution of data availability at fine spatial scales and even down to the personal level. Up until now, in the past, we've mostly been working with data that's measured by environmental monitors sort of at centralized stations, particularly in the air pollution field. We know what the pollution level is on a building, and one or two buildings in the center of the city, but now we have tools for measuring exposure at the individual level. So I think increasingly individuals will be able to take sort of to have the information they need to make personal decisions about reducing their own environmental impacts and their exposures and their health effects through what I would call personalized environmental health sciences. And then finally, I think the research we do needs to be increasingly translated into information that can be used by the public and also by policymakers. We've been saying that for a long time, but mostly what we do as environmental health science researchers is write papers in scientific journals. I think there's a real need for us to learn how to communicate more directly, to translate our findings into messages that are readily graspable by both the public and policymakers, so that our findings can find their way into decision making at both the policy level and the individual level.